Now, there is this particular thing a lot of people work at there. Former President John Dramani Mahama said Gobaya Gonjay. But already there is this allegation, sir. There may be a former president, I not go to go. Now, Moti, say a statement Eric Kawasama, it should be void of insult. Seven. On either it is easy for Fatim. I mean, it shouldn't have those kinds of yamano. But Koku Anyidaho, but and it looks like they will be sending this particular question. Osne, we noticed on one or two things here, even before President John Dramani Mahama or president. Let me say, hey, no, no, some or from Yafa, but Apamekos, Kabamazana, share video, share. It was just a Kabdavia, Chawadi conversation.
My president, my man, the sentiment. Any views, any comments, any cast any campaign message, you know. Emu ya think a crap because when we say do elections, yeah, okwa all star but the insult, the abusive words that the former president Mahama is using against prominent men, it's becoming unbecoming. The clergy, imams, like the civil society organizations, the electoral commission, now President Tinto Baumia insulted everybody in this country as a statement.
It's a mark of desperation, Minia. That's the only way I can explain.
A mark of desperation?
Yeah, it's a mark of desperation. And can you desperation and guide a former president, statesman, and I would do attempt. And then the soldier for sorry no move to no go yeku.
Hey,
almost the whole day. Almost the whole day. Until now, in past time and now we are the so. Now we are maybe na enye what you do a deep content analysis of what he's saying, he's indicting himself. Okay, and Kayani also, and yes, and then you do something here. And Kasoja for it to abino. Which means that you admit that during your time you were doing certain things that was annoying the whole system. But Enedi and Kaunyaya, Soja for no sorry no to abine. So today, John Mahama is craving for a coup. He wants to incite the military against the government. A former president, and to not hear about so now will be inciting the military against Nabaya. And then make right time another president, of course, a soldier uniform. So okay. So a commander in chief, of course, a soldier for that year. And then the soldier for no sorry. And the uncle started there no to no go to a binary. And the uniform no wash pay. And the coffee business I said you never to go to a bind. And upon making kind, oh baby, you see Tamale South constituency chairman. Although they were kind of pain, said a toner police for soldier for one. More Tamale, no more a side to no thing, police for soldier for. And so after December 7th, they make you a Ghana no. And Yakitwa. If that is how you are going to get same thing amount for MP and Rano. I'm telling you, in Chani Bono, any motivation amount for Bewu, and the Jadimony and Nanum, and to Oman for Mamun Komu Bewu, because in Chani Bono does too much. And the one baby about, and this time I say, boys be banned, with them Semenko, Mopa Monko, and here almost one go. And important be a penny be or to Nicola for Mamunko, because in Kenny Bono at Dawson, and you be Kumnipa, and a Moja Beshegu, and you be Kumnipo, and your weapons. You were two Nano, I quite your Kosher red beret. So, but IGP to a Kuno. Interior Minister to a Kuno. It's about 2 solo. I'm said 3 days time.
I don't know.
I'm not going to command this as yes, sir. As I now them.
Aye.
John Mahama will be.
David.
Asiedu Nketsia will be.
To me 101.3.
It's not in penny for you that damo. Me them see them be our president most. I could perform the crime say. Me kai 2004. Yeah. Na NDC at the time. Yeah. GD said. Yeah, Winnie and a Jacob Jebilamte. I call you a press conference. MPP I said we need you. Master, yeah, President was catch there here point black and he said, look, I will not lead you people onto the streets. I don't want to be and let's work hard. And you go on the pair. 4 years we became Ghana 42 million money. Ampa and come send the Eti di any moja hwegu. Afa mo ye na nkora ni kogu wie a. Mo se aban ni asrafo ene kunkun nkrofo. Na mo se mo kutupa. Ana omo cracky. So my brother, as for me, the omo ye any say enra ye hu ye. Say me afere sabi dey feeding the bodyguard. Kuntokwa. Omo ko look at the end, I'm out for a bonfire.
Yep.
I'm out for a bonfire. At the end of the day, Oko Bible, this one called Turkey, Israel, Judah.
Yeah.
And Jehoshaphat, or him, or Frey Israel, was say, yeah.
Kwaku. Kwaku la ne mo twetwe kakra. Se bacho mumra na se Kwaku. Menim on position hu kakra na me ha de. Hello Kwaku. Okay. Se yeah reconnection na me ha de se you benya the back na ye no area. So Yane Samuel Koku Anyidaho, former Deputy General Secretary of NDC, and a bon komo after the fallout of the NDC for demonstration against the Electoral Commission.
Every year in this administration, doctors are not struggling to receive salaries. The doctors in our recent history who struggled, the junior doctor, house officers, those who had completed school and started working afresh, they worked 11 good months. And then Mr. Mahama, the competent one, that receiving salaries. It is never the case in this administration. Even when I was a house officer, in a record 2.5 months in 2017, I received my salaries. 2015, under Mr. Mahama, doctors worked for 11 months. Today, doctors are receiving free education. Do you know you are receiving free education? You can walk from your studios to the College of Physicians and Surgeons. Every doctor receiving training to become a specialist in this country. The Kufuor NPP administration has made schooling free. They don't pay school fees. Hitherto under administration, we're paying fees. The doctors who had car waiver motivation, President Kufuor introduced, Prof. Mills continued. Mr. Mahama under administration came to cancel them. So any doctor, any healthcare worker who is listening to us can judge between the two. The one that came and canceled the allowances, government owes the nurses, but then like the nurses to say, allowances delayed, better allowances cancelled. You cancel them, and you are making a U-turn to come and say that when you come, you continue. Can we take you serious? If governance is about seriousness, then one that has occupied the position that you expect some form of seriousness from the person who claimed free SHS should not be implemented on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician, stood on a platform, lied to Ghanaians, and said he introduced free SHS. The person who has occupied the position, and we expect some seriousness from him, per the words of my brother, stood on a platform, met journalists, and told them it is the NDC that introduced NHIS from Nkranza and Damongo. But it's not true. It was the community leaders and the community people in conjunction with the Catholic Church that introduced those health insurance in those communities. It is never true. So if it's about lies, your candidate who has been a vice president, who has been a president also, stood on a platform and in all seriousness looked in the faces of the people who will sell his message and lied to them. Is governance about lies? So if Dr. Baumia has said one or two things that didn't come to pass, and your candidate who has been a president before and is expected to know better, expected to see the presidency as a serious business, it's clearly. I have not admitted it. I said if. I said if. I used a conditional clause.
Okay.
I used a conditional clause. I said if. I used a conditional clause. So please listen to me.
Okay.
That indeed, if it's about seriousness and lies, the one who has occupied the position before expected to know better, coming to lie to us, and you are here repeating the lies. Kotokraba Market is not his project. Rich Hospital is not his project. Doctors are struggling to receive salaries. Meanwhile, under your administration, union doctors work for 3 months without getting salaries, and 11 months without getting salaries.
The NDC government went to Parliament, asked Parliament to pass a law called Divestiture Implementation Act. And then that Divestiture Implementation Act enabled the NDC government to set up a committee called Divestiture Implementation Committee. Now, that's what they did. They sold 300 state-owned factories that were assembling cars, factories that were producing glass, factories that were producing matches, factories that were producing car tires. Think of all the things you can imagine were being produced in this country. 300 of them. They sold them like chupa chops. They sold them like tomatoes. They sold them like the way you.
Now, I had a briba mayedu. Now, Demra, they may be out no. I bring in nothing but the truth. I bring in facts back to back content. Now, but Mazana share video, share. No business and cover the new year. Share your comment section. But from Yafa, what my from a I'm a crowd, naturally in the go.